He's a hustler, unbreakable, a people's person, and a future billionaire. This is the Hustler's Corner with Sbu Liobe, well known to you and I as DJ Sbu.
Hello everyone, this is DJ Sbu, straight out of Johannesburg, South Africa, and welcome to the Hustler's Corner. I'd like to welcome a friend of mine. He's not only a social entrepreneur, but he's also a very well established musician back home in Africa. The continent at large knows his work. But if you've watched James Brown on stage, if you've watched Michael Jackson on stage, if you've watched Chris Brown on stage, that's what he turns and becomes when he goes on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome Zakes Bantwini all the way from the African continent.
Thank you very much, man.
Yeah,
no, I'm at those. The ancestors.
So what happened was, I've been having chats with him since last year. I'm like, your wife is in New York, bro. What are you still sitting there at home for? Because, you know, as we say, I'm a veteran. We're like the older guys in the industry. Yeah. I'm like, open way for the younger guys to play at home. Yeah. Tina, let's follow up on coffee, now travel. Let's go international.
Yeah.
So are you eventually joining us?
We are here, man. We are here. I think it's long overdue. It's been calling, though. It's been calling, my brother. I've been overlooking it. It's been calling. It's been calling. Calling on me, calling on my wife, calling on me, calling on my wife, and one has to respond.
Yeah. Now you are a celebrity couple back home. That's how people look at you.
Yeah.
But I understand you're an ordinary person.
Yeah.
Your life wasn't always like that.
Yes.
Let's go all the way back to when it started.
Yeah.
I always, you know, when I talk on the Hustler's Corner here, talk about my journey and where I started.
Yes.
And I always say that when they see Trevor Noah, when they see Black Coffee, when they see Terry Petto, when they see Natasha Tahane, Tusombet, we all come from the same environment.
Yes.
You also the same?
Yeah, man. Actually, I have never looked at it that way. You know, maybe my wife. Maybe it's only my wife who's coming from it.
Oh, she was in the suburbs. Yes.
She was born in the suburbs, man.
Yeah.
You know, she was born with cheese.
Yeah.
You know, so I can't disappoint her. You know, she cannot be born to cheese and then
I think even though we all come from the same backgrounds, some of us were worse off.
Yeah, I know, but Tina we were worse. I know Tina we were worse because actually everyone that you've just mentioned. Worse. I grew up in KwaMashu, in South Africa. That's the street. I grew up in the time where there was a serious political turmoil. I remember the Mrs. Mkhize, one of the politicians in South Africa, Mrs. Mkhize uprising in 1986, where I think she had died, and there was just a serious turmoil.
Yeah.
And I couldn't understand it. I was only between 5 and 6 years old then.
How old were you? I mean, what type of family you come from? A big family, a small family?
Big. As you know, in Africa, you know, we are about the family is everybody. It's not only your mom and dad. Yeah. You know, it's different when you come here in the US. It's different when you go to Europe because they are just only about themselves. It's mom and my siblings. In Africa, it's not that. In Africa, it's everybody. Everyone who knows or was born from the same whatever is your family. So your cousins are like your brothers and sisters, and you call them uncle. This is how much when the English language doesn't recognize, you know, the hierarchy, because if you don't have what you call a you call him an uncle. Yeah. Your brother's your father's brother. Yeah. But in an African language, you have a conversation, or as you said, you have titles for each and everyone, and different titles. Baba mncane, mamkhulu, auntie, mamkhulu, mamncane, you know, all those things. Well, with English it's auntie. You know, auntie, uncle, that's it. Yeah. Because that's how much it doesn't recognize anybody else. But
the system of white supremacy affected all of us back home.
Yeah.
When you were growing up, it was heavy.
Yes.
Oppression was heavy.
Yeah.
How did it affect you? From a kid, KwaMashu?
You know, opportunities, Joe. When I look back, because at that time I didn't know that I was oppressed. You know, but you would sometimes ask your questions, why can't I sit in that restaurant? You know, why can't I take this bus? Why can't we here? Why can't I swim here? Where you see someone who look like you, because that's how you, white, black, when you're a kid, it's like, that person look like they just happen to be. You know, I want to go play with my peers. And your mother will be like, no. Or maybe because you're a kid and you don't understand the system, then you run, you go there. But you can see the fright and like, what are you doing there and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, she was avoiding being arrested. Like, how could you allow your child to go and swim there?
Yeah.
And all those things. So, I mean, you have all those things there, but I didn't know. And it's only later I've realized that how much the system really robbed happiness. Even my parents. You know, my mom is late, Joe. In her sick bed, she died of cancer. In her sick bed,
sorry about that, man.
Yeah. In her sick bed, I can imagine when I asked my mom, what do you want to do when you're out of the hospital? Just take a wild guess what did she say to me?
I don't know.
She said, I want to go to the movies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I want to go watch the movie. Because this person has never watched the movie before.
Oh.
I mean, it's little as just a movie.
And I was saying the same things. Like, I was saying, you know, I'm older now. I don't allow my mom to get into buses for long distances. My mom likes going to Durban. So from Johannesburg to Durban, it's a 5-hour bus drive.
Yes. And she wants that.
She wants that. And I'm like, no. I always refuse because I'd rather fly my mother.
Yes.
Nowadays I fly, unless if my mom is driving a distance of maybe an hour away.
Yes.
But anything more than that, I put my mom in an aeroplane.
Yeah.
Because when they were growing up, that was a luxury. Like they've never been in a plane.
Yes.
So, but now because her son can afford, it's normal for my mom to be up and down in aeroplanes. You know.
Definitely, I think that's what we've managed to achieve. Even though we still have a lot to do. I mean, a lot to go. I think Africa, as the continent, we need to look ourselves. Even the diaspora, people in the diaspora, we need to look ourselves as one. You know, I'm talking to my brothers here in the US. I'm talking to my brothers in Europe. Talking to my brothers everywhere, in every corner of the continent. We are one people. You know, we're all hated. Everybody. When they hate black people, they hate us. You know, everybody. They hate you even when you are speaking top English. They will hate you even when you are relating with them. You know, so when a system and a sign shows you that it's not friendly to Africans, it's not saying it's not friendly to African American, or it's not friendly to South African, or friendly to Nigerian. It says it's not friendly to people who look like you. You know, and I think the day we are able to look ourselves as one. You know, I watched this one interview by my brother Akon saying everything that we are doing in the States, let's do it in Africa. And I'm here, you know, saying the same thing. Say, guys, you are a minority in the US. You guys are a minority. We see your strides, your title, you see your revolt. We see what you guys are doing. But it's only consumed by a minority here. At home, we're a billion. We are a majority. Immediately as you're there, you'll have 1 billion people subscribing to your stream services, subscribing to your cable, doing business with your people. So our African brothers who live in America, they should stop thinking when they go to Africa, they're just gonna meet with people who do not know what they are talking about. Or when they meeting with us in the US, we need something from the States. You know, we live a comfortable life, Sbu. When you go home, you know, we live comfortable lives, Sbu. We have cars, we have houses. You know my house. I know your house.
I know your mansion.
You know what I mean? So we live comfortable lives. And there's this perception of our African brothers when we're here in the States that they think that we're struggling. And we're not. Because the media has told them that, yo, these guys, when they come here, they need you. We even hear our African brothers making fun of us. You know, you think in Africa, you're so hungry. You know, I will donate this thing in Africa. You know, and only to find that all they are doing, they're just, you know, looking down on themselves. Because America isn't accepting our African brothers, man. We see it all the time. I get worried. If I can be stopped by a police here, I'll probably cry. Because I see it. I see what's happening. I see the system. So I'm just saying, this is a call of saying, guys, let us be one. Let us, when we see each other, you know, let's give each other comfort.
But I guess the enemy was doing it intentionally.
Yeah.
They don't want our African American brothers united with us African brothers and sisters.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And I think people like ourselves, even with these types of platforms, and people like Akon,
yes,
we're saying, guys, if you think America is rich and there's so much wealth and beauty here, you haven't been to Africa.
Exactly.
There's more beauty in Africa. As a matter of fact, I was watching a video of Mr. Floyd Mayweather in an ice tub. He was talking about his $18 million watch.
Yes.
I was like, wow, a watch that costs $18 million in our currency, that's like $250 million rands. He can build his own, not just village, he can build his own estate.
Yes.
State of the art estate.
Yeah.
With houses that people can buy.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
And have a private hospital.
And have his own.
And have a private healthcare. Have a security company. Build that. Which
is exactly what we're saying. We're saying our African American brothers and sisters who are educated here, who've got the skills here, and the ones who have been able to accumulate wealth.
Yeah.
If they can bring all those skills and that wealth and go build back home, we're gonna welcome them with open arms, right?
Definitely, man. I think stop watching the news. Watch the internet rather, because the news have programmed you to fear Africa so much, so that when you land in Africa, you think you're probably gonna get mugged. I mean, there's crime everywhere, bro, and you're probably gonna see lions, and we have lions, we have the big five, but we also go on holiday to watch. To see them.
We go to the safari.
We go to the safari for us to be able to see it. But our African brothers and sisters, or even the States, the media is telling them that when you go there, it's rough. It's so corrupt. The government isn't, all these things that are just making them fear. In terms of like, if I inject my money there, is it gonna come back? If I do this, is it going to? And I'm telling them, each and every one here, saying, bro, go invest in Africa. You will not believe how much money and the investment and the return on investment that you're going to get, because our people love you guys.
And we love them, eh?
We do. We love them. We celebrate them, man. We celebrate them
all the time.
People at home are calling each other niggas instead of famachita. You know what I mean? Like we love our brothers here, man. And if that love, could be like replicated, if that love could be given back, our brothers can show us that love, bro, there's a lot we can do. We enjoy a lot of artists, and then they will go to Africa, bro. Like I wouldn't sometimes mention names, because I don't wanna. But then you have brothers, like people are so excited, to see, this African brother coming to perform, and then the African brother would say, I don't want to see anybody. I don't want to have interviews. I don't want to see anybody. In the hotel that I'm in, nobody. It's just my only section.
Oh, you talking about the artistic side
of. So now we have these brothers that are celebrated coming to Africa, and everybody is
excited.
Looking
forward to seeing them. Right?
Seeing them. Some even having a conversation. Because for me, I wouldn't want to have a picture with you. I want to have a conversation. You and I are business people in Africa. Like we not. I don't think we need a picture opportunity. We need a business, because there's this perception of our African brothers here, when they go to Africa, they think we just want to have pick whatever. Then they don't give us an opportunity to have a conversation with them, and teach them, and school them about Africa, and school them about opportunities, and also engage with them and open their eyes, to the world. Because we know about them, they don't know about us. You know what I mean? So when we want to open that page and saying, hey, listen, this is what is happening, bro. This is what is happening. If you can come, if you can do this thing here, if you can launch this thing here, if you can do this here, this is what will happen. But you don't even get a chance.
Now let's talk about your greatness. A little bit earlier on, I was trying to take you to your story, because of an international audience that you might have some Africans here who might know you. Yeah. But a lot of the people who probably are watching, they don't even know who you are and what you do.
Yeah.
And I was obviously trying to bring out to the audience your greatness.
Yes.
And I don't understand what made you think that music will save your life? Why music?
Yeah, I don't know if I can say this thing here, man, because of the whole
Kulum.
media turmoil.
Speak, it's fine.
R. Kelly, bro. You know, I saw my life through R. Kelly's music video. Everything that R. Kelly was, I wanted to be.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I wanted to have his car. You know that. Yeah, this looks nice.
Yeah. Okay, some more food is coming. Thank you. Yeah.
So that I remember that music video. You remind me of something. You remind me of my Jeep. Ever since I've had money, I always have a Jeep car in my garage. That's like when I had money, like I bought a Jeep. I'm on my third Jeep. Like this is how much I love Jeep. When I never cup at the Jeep. And the lifestyle. So I was like, I want to live this. Because when you're in the township, there were no beautiful cars as that, no beautiful car or houses like that. So you can only see a beautiful life through a television set. And I wanted that life. And I thought like, okay, cool. So you can only get this life if you're a musician. You know? So if you're a musician, then my mom was like, if you want to be a musician, you have to go study. You go study. Everything you want to be, I'm fine. You are definitely gonna go and study.
And then so you want to study music?
I want to study music, so I studied music. Same thing, Joe. We studied a lot of American jazz greats. You know, the Dizzy Gillespie's, the Charlie Parkers, the Miles Davis, the Antino Las Monks. You know, I know a lot about New Orleans, the uptown, downtown history of jazz music when jazz was like hip hop. You know, where solos were like lines. You know what I mean? Yeah. Where like a bebop would be as popular like a Cardi B song. You know what I mean? So those jazz greats, and also the likes of Hugh, the likes of Miriam Makeba, you know, the Tandy Clarkson, I think. Tandy Clarkson.
May soul rest in peace.
May soul rest in peace. Yeah. So all those people, the late Mam Song, or so all the late Begim Selig, one of the great pianists we ever had in Africa. So I started then, and then I started having a conversation with myself in loving this kind of sound and loving this particular music at the same time. But something was happening at home, you know, because I wanted to play in the mainstream, play on radio, and jazz wasn't on radio anymore, and it was not on prime time. And what was in prime time was house music, was kwaito, you know, and also house music. House music being like we used to call it international at home. You know, house music from Chicago.
From Chicago, because house music started in Chicago. Yeah,
started in Chicago.
At the time when we were young, coming up, house was new for us.
Was very new.
And it became big.
International, It wasn't even called house music, it was called international.
Yes. So you drew on from the jazz sounds, but then you are growing up at a time at which, as you keep growing, there's a different type of music that's becoming popular.
Yes.
So in your music, would you say you've had to fuse all these experiences or these inspirations that you might have had from jazz music?
Definitely.
Because I hear a lot of that when I listen to your music.
Yeah, definitely. I had to. You know, I love horns because of the late and great Fela Kuti. You know, because of the late and great Hugh Masekela. I actually have a song with Hugh Masekela on my latest album.
By the way, it's a dope song. If you don't have that song right now, go to any of your platforms right now.
Trumpet,
It's called Dancing Trumpet.
Yeah.
Hugh Masekela and Zakes Bantwini.
So
beautiful song.
Yeah. So with that song, and you know, so I think that's. And there's another song which it's by Chick Corea originally. You know, and it has different versions. You know, I think I read the version Yaga Algero. So Algero also has, you know, the version. So you put some, what you're calling them vocalises. You know, when you sing melody lines by a certain instrument, but you put words. So when something says ba 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 ba, then you're gonna say.
Did you order?
My food. Same thing.
You ordered the same thing and can also have the same drink. Yes. So what's recording?
Yeah. So that line was a ba 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 ba. Then you can say Sbu, but then you put words. Then we're calling it you're vocalizing. So the vocal. So I think he did it like a vocal because the song originally was an instrumental. You know. So then Algero was I can't remember about that. So I had also the great Themba Mkhize at home, one of the best composers and a musician. Themba Mkhize, I mean, from Tosholoza with Pride, Jabu Kanye and stuff like that. So I had him to solo that song. It was amazing, man. So sitting down with Themba Mkhize and just telling him, okay, and this is what I'd like, and it's like, so looking at him, listening to me, I was like, I'm made, I'm done, like it's over, like I'm giving, instructions to Themba Mkhize. Who am I? Like I was like, it's over now. It's also when I was working with Prayu, I was like, it's been over. It's been over. So I think that's what jazz has managed to do for me. It's just for me to be able to travel different genres and meet the great people and be able to have a conversation, music conversation with them.
But you didn't want to stop with music.
Yeah.
What gave you the inspiration to want to take it beyond the music?
I think it's a plight of our people. So I wanted to be that vessel that I want to leave my family and my country better than how I found it. I want people to say, yo, before Zakes Bantwini used to be like this, and then Zakes and the Sbus and the Mandelas and then they came and then they gave us this, and look at us right now. I just want to be that particular generation, the generation of the O.R. Tambos, the generation of Walter Sisulu. Because after that particular generation, before they were born, things used to be bad, man. But after them, it was, they gave us what you call the freedom to vote, because we don't really have a serious freedom in South Africa currently. We have a freedom to vote, but at least they gave us freedom of movement, a lot of free things except the land, which was still.
But what I want to know from you is, you took it beyond the music. Like, what made you think I can be more than just a musician? I have more to offer in this world.
I think it's an environment, man. Sometimes the environment just forces you to think differently. When you go home and you see your peers, people that you used to play soccer with when you were young, you're seeing them and they have no hope. They have nothing. And people that used to play soccer, people that that you grew up with, you don't meet them at the airport. You don't see them anywhere except seeing them in the same space, the same place, and the same road you left them in. And you're like, there's no hope here. What's happening? And then you realize that the system has made sure that they're there. You were lucky.
Thank you, my brother. Did you order? Actually,
can I have the same thing, my brother? Can I have the same thing?
Thanks a lot, brother. Appreciate it.
So like the same. Then the same thing, they are locked by the system. So for me to be able to address this, now I needed to have a foundation. And for me to have a foundation, I needed to understand that space. Same thing, my mom say, everything you want to do, go study. Now I enrolled at the Durban Institute of Business Science in South Africa to study social entrepreneurship.
Yeah, it gives business school, yeah?
Yeah.
So you did social entrepreneurship?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did a certificate in social entrepreneurship. So I then opened my mind even more. Then even my interest, which is bigger.
And how are you fusing entrepreneurship with your art, with your talent, your music?
Reason I'm here, reason this particular conversation we started with, of how can we be able to create companies and businesses that will always lean towards supporting what black people like the most, or what would make their life better. You know what I mean? Because we have big companies in South Africa, because they are owned by people who understand that they like a certain lifestyle. They will support that lifestyle, I mean, in South Africa, you and I, we know, like, soccer is the most spoken language. Like, we love soccer. but rugby has more budget than soccer, has more sponsorship, has more, because most businesses, people who are owning businesses are white people, and white people in South Africa love rugby. So that's why rugby is well taken care of, and soccer is struggling. So once we have businesses, once you and I have so much money, guess where we're going to invest? We're going to invest in what we like. We're going to invest in soccer. We're going to invest in things that African people like, then thereby addressing the issues of our African people. It's about that.
Yeah. Why do you love the African people so much? It's a stupid question. I mean, obviously, you have to love your people.
I mean, because I think we're the creator of humankind. When I say African people, I'm really talking about the original people of to arrive on planet Earth.
What do you mean the original people?
I mean, like, it's the creator of humankind. It's just that first people the longest skeleton that I've ever found was found in South of African country, which is South Africa. Where they say that that's where the human beings started. So I think human beings are us. Indian, Chinese, white people are us. So when they hate us, they're actually hating their mothers and a mother and a father who gave birth to them, because we are the original color. When you take all the color, you can only find black. So that's why you and I, a black person can be able to give birth to different kind of color palettes, but other races can't. A white person can never give birth to a black, but a black person can give it to an albino.
Do you think religion was used to control our people?
Definitely. I think so. For me, I'm African, so when someone asks me what's your religion, it's African. I'm an African person. And then they will say, but are you Christian or are you? I'm like, I was never exposed. My ancestors were never exposed to that. They're Africans. I'm that. I'm still that person. In Africa, I'm a Zulu. I'm a Zulu. In terms of my clan, we had we have my ancestors, Amadlos, and you had Kubulwan. So we had different spirits that we believed in. We still believe in them.
A lot of people
is a god in Christianity, and is maybe Allah in other, is a god. So it's like I'm taking what you have and replacing it with another name. So I'm taking your religion, which is an African religion, and replacing it by saying you should be Christian. So then there's a fear. When you say you're not Christian, it means you're gonna have bad luck, you're gonna have all these things. Or if you're saying you're not Christian, you mean you hate Christians. But you're like, no, it's because this is where I subscribed in. I subscribe in being African and doing things the African way, of which I know. And I understand that sometimes, in terms of a Christianity, it's sometimes unable to absorb some of the things that I practice. So therefore, it means I might not be speaking the same, or worshipping the same, or believing the same as other religions. So I would rather be an African person, because I will never be confused by myself, than being something else which I will always rely on someone to tell me where to go. With African, I will not. I will go to him some and be like when I get lost. But with Christianity, with Muslims and other religions, I'll always be confused because I don't know it, And I worship with Muslims, I worship with Christians, I worship with the Nazarenes, I would worship with any kind of person, for as long as we are praying for peace and stability for humankind.
Yeah. And I respect that, but why do you think what we spoke about it, obviously, why are people so confused? Religion has had a big part to play in it. Yeah. And a lot of people also talk about the issue of the white Jesus. Yeah. According to your understanding, was Jesus white or black?
I mean, for me, it's all I know.
And the reason I'm asking you that, somebody was making, I think it was David Banner.
Yes.
David Banner said, a lot of our people are so afraid of the white people because it's like they're seeing Jesus when they see a white person. Because we all brought up believing that a white man is Jesus, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, this conversation is a debate that continues, and it's in the Bible, and a lot of people like quoting the Revelation scriptures.
So here's what I know, Sbu, you know? Is that the oldest church is in Africa. And in the African continent lives Africans. And Africans look like me and you. So if the oldest church is in Africa, it will mean then that's when the religion began.
So when missionaries were sent here, are you trying to tell me there was okay? We'll have a conversation another
next
day.
time. Yeah.
Let's continue the conversation of the white Jesus.
Yeah,
I'm listening.
So I'm saying to you, this is what I know. I know the oldest church is in Africa. That's why in Ethiopia, right? And I know the African continent lives African. So then I'll leave you to anybody who's watching to then draw a conclusion, because that's what I know. Yeah. So unless someone tells me that in Africa at one stage Europeans were in Africa or were born in Africa, then maybe.
But why do we hate ourselves so much though?
I don't think we don't hate ourselves. We are told that we hate ourselves.
I think we do, because anything that comes from us we don't like. Anything that comes from the other races we're quick to jump into.
It's not that, Sbu.
What do you think it is?
It's there's an unspoken you know, you talk racism, you talk classism, you know, they're like cousins, you know. So racism is about, you know, about your skin color. Then classism is about the elites. Whoever has $1 million then can be with us, be it they're black, white, maroon, or navy, you know. So they're like more cousin, because it's classism when you look at it. So, excuse me. There's this thing that it's no one said it. You don't read it, but it's there. It's like it's known. When you look at our skin in terms of like the hierarchy, it's like, so white people like think that they are on top, you know, and that's what maybe the conversation is like, top. And then you have Asians, you know, who are in the middle, and then you have blacks. So Asians, they would think that they're better than blacks. So everybody thinks that they're better than black. Now we have our African brothers, you know, thinking about their skin palettes, you know, they're thinking about their skin. So they are trying to put value in their skin, because it's about value. So there's like value. When I walk in this restaurant, a white man can walk in this restaurant and get the same service in a t-shirt that I would only get when I'm wearing a suit. You know, I would only get that service if I'm wearing a suit as a black man and clean. That's the only. So, but a white man can get that service just wearing a t-shirt, you know, and just pants, you know, just pants and then flip flops. But you have to wear suits to get the same level of service. Or when you walk in the streets, you are stopped by police. When you are wearing a hoodie, then you are more dangerous.
What I'm saying to you is the same people who are giving you that treatment are your own people. So why would they give the white person better treatment that they would? They hate themselves.
That's why I'm saying to you that it's about like that how they look at like the skin hierarchy, of saying this skin is much more important than the other. Now this because of AIDS, this because of so many things underlying that makes you think like that. I mean, like, you have a white balance for camera. Do you have a black balance for camera? You don't have black balance. So cameras are even programmed, you know, for a white skin it's easier. So, but when you're taking a photo when there's a black person and a white person, you've got to adjust and stuff.
Somebody was saying the same thing.
Yeah, so there are all these things that are there. Then you can see that everything was made for a white man. We are just adjusting it to fit and speak to us. So that's how African brothers will brag about wearing a Gucci It's not that they're breaking. They're like, I'm breaking about wearing a Gucci, then break about wearing my Ghetto King suits. Because Gucci gives them a certain veil in their skin. It's like, yo, this guy is wearing a Gucci. You know what I mean? Like, so when they break about this, they're not talking about really clothes. They're talking about the veil of their skin. What black people want veil in their skin, so that's why they put so much money in their brands, in their clothing, because they just want their skin to be as expensive and to be respected and to be serviced like other skins. That's it. That's the struggle.
So that's why I call it self-hate.
I don't.
Because we've been programmed that way. Any and everything we've experienced growing up has been saying to us, you are inferior than other races. You're not good enough. And
yes,
then that sort of breeds that self-hate. That you and I right now, only now as we are older, we're starting to learn more things. We're becoming woke, what other people call the woke community. Where a lot of us are becoming smarter and clever. We're like, oh no, wait a minute here. I'm no longer Christian. Like me, I grew up as a Christian. I'm no longer Christian. My spirituality is straight up with my own God, and I'm going through my own research of finding out about my own spirituality. I don't belong to any religion anymore. Why? Because of the information that I keep finding out as I'm getting a little bit older.
Yeah.
And I start learning with, oh, so we were programmed. So I do say it's a system.
Yes, it is. Hence, that's how I'm saying, I do not think that we hate ourselves. I think we are made to hate ourselves. You know, like, so I think that we are made to hate ourselves. We are made not to value ourselves. We are made to, you know what I mean, like exactly like that. And I think we have to stop classifying. We are not near classification. We have to stop classifying ourselves, especially within the black.
I like it. It's like when Jay-Z says, he says that line. He says, "I'm the realest rapper rapping." From there, he says, he talks. There's a line he talks about being the tallest midget. And then it says, let it go. That's a topic for another day. You can't claim to be the tallest midget. Because you're all midgets anyways.
Yes.
So you can't claim to be a better black. Because you're all blacks anyways. And one day you'll realize, and when he comes back and says, I'm not black.
Still nigger.
I'm not black,
I'm OJ.
But they still see you as a nigger.
Black,
a nigger, right?
Yeah.
So you're not better than others.
You're just a nigger who happens to have a lot of money. You know, but you're a nigger.
How do we solve it though?
You see it right now? It's
gonna take hundreds of years, but I mean,
it might not.
But how?
Because now we have internet. Because now it might not.
They're starting to regulate the internet.
I understand.
They've just banned Minister Louis Farrakhan from Facebook.
I know.
What makes you think Google is not being run by the American government?
But what stops us from having our own Google? What stops us from having our own Twitter? What's stopping us from having our own Instagram? Where we don't regulate what's going on there.
Okay, that makes sense.
See, that's the thing. Like, the thing is, we think that these things I just made, bro, even in our own industry, look at it. In our own industry, not one company right now, a streaming company, is more than 15 years. Spotify, Tidal, iTunes, nothing. We still do not have an African one. We still don't have an African.
We've got a Tidal. Tidal is Jay-Z's.
It's not an African. I'm talking about Africa. I'm talking about us in Africa.
Created in Africa.
Curated, because still, the Tidal, the Jay-Z Tidal still pushes American culture. I'm talking about an African brother who's watching this interview who wants now to listen to our stuff. Where would they go? They don't know where to go. So even someone who has an interest in understanding what is happening in our country, who's like the biggest song and blah blah blah, what people are listening to, they don't have streaming service where they will go and listen to. We don't do these things. I understand. I understand that perhaps we might not have cash, to do that. But I think right now it's time. A brother like a Jay-Z, identify 5-6 brothers who live in Africa, not 5 brothers who were born in Nigeria but live in the US. No, who live in Nigeria now, who lives in South Africa, who lives there, who will come to New York to have a meeting with you or anybody who's interested, and then they go there. They will still live there and do things there, not do things satellite by satellite. And we do a spider web approach, a spiderweb approach where each and every corner of the continent, there's something that speaks about us, which is controlled by us. Now we have Tidal. Tidal is only in the US and only in South Africa.
It's global. It's on the internet.
Offices are only in the US. No one is servicing.
But I get what you're saying.
No one is servicing Tidal in South Africa. You cannot go to any office in Africa and be like, I would like to work with Tidal. I think there's a curation of music that I think people will have more subscribers. People don't know Tidal in Soweto. We'll have more subscribers if we can put now Mama Piano. So you don't have Mama Piano on Tidal, which is one of the biggest channels in South Africa.
Right now,
but you have other channels which are so popular in Congo, different channels are popular but you don't have that. So we have a brother like a Jay-Z who's here, who has a streaming service, but it's not there. But his competitors are there. We have Spotify in South Africa. We have iTunes in South Africa. So now our brother has to work with us and identify us. You know what I mean? Like and work with us and saying, hey, what can we do this? Now, not every African brother wants to take a picture with Jay-Z. I don't want to take a picture with Jay-Z, but I want to do business with Jay-Z. I know you. I know how much you love Jay-Z, but I know you don't want a picture with Jay-Z. You want to have to do business with Jay-Z. So I think it's time that our brothers look at us like that. That we have brothers from Africa who still live in Africa who want to do business with us.
But why do we need a Jay-Z?
You need everybody. You need a Jay-Z. You need enthusiasts. You need someone who's enthusiastic about Africa who doesn't have money but they have influence. You need a Jay-Z because Jay-Z is a name now. Is probably one of of the most popular figures we have in the black community, even known in Africa. You need those who have influence like a Puffy. You need people who are making noise on the internet. You need everybody. Those who have money and those who have influence. You need them in one place and be like, guys, let's just do this. How can we do it? You need everybody. I was talking about Jay-Z because it's someone that is easily relatable to everybody. At home in Africa, everybody will know I'm talking about Jay-Z. What I'm talking about.
So where is Zakes going now?
To the top.
Of course,
well, I have a huge interest when it comes to finance. Finance and also you.
Your food is here, man.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Time to eat now.
Yeah.
That's
and also you're a person who, off camera, I'll tell you about this. So let me speak to people on camera.
Yeah.
So this guy, he doesn't know. He has made me to have so much interest in retail and beverage business.
Yes, sir.
Because someone who
Grace, Amen. Open up the team, my brother.
Thank you very much. You don't understand how you brought it. You brought it so close, Sbu. I could smell it. I could touch it. You brought it so close, my brother. Like so close. I was like, shucks, we can do this, man.
And it's so doable, Joe.
You brought it so close, Joe.
So doable, Zakhele.
Yeah. And so I have interest. The banking system is still not speaking to our people at home. I don't know here in the US, but the banking system, nothing. Like nothing, Joe.
So you're getting into
finance? I eventually want to be a venture capitalist.
Okay. Same here.
Yeah. So I go to my township, KwaMashu. I know so many brands that are consumed every day there.
Hey, bro.
But I don't see.
And we are so brand conscious.
Yeah, but I don't see those brands contributing
back to our communities.
Yeah, there's no hall which is built by that brand. There's no school which is sponsored by those brands. There's just nothing. Those brands are just nothing.
They're just taking money.
Taking. And for me, I think we have to be in each and every space.
So you're getting into financing?
I'm getting into finance, man.
Are you saying you're going back to school or you're starting a business in the financial services space?
I have to do both.
Okay.
I have to do both. Like I told you, my man, like my mom teaching, when you want to know something,
go to school.
You have to go study and know about it. So I'm probably gonna do that and also couple it with some school. Maybe a certificate or maybe a certificate at least, just a certificate.
I always say to people, like, it's always a good decision to go back to school. Anybody who's been working and then they say, I'm toying around going back to school, but I'm not sure. If you ever think of going back to school or going to study something, always know that it's always a good decision to go back to school. It doesn't matter whatever you're going to study. But on the other hand, the other way around, I can't say the same thing about leaving school and pursuing business or pursuing your passion. Yes, we've heard a lot of people who have done that and they've become successful, but not everybody's going to become successful. So that's the reason why we always encourage people to go and get themselves educated. Although we also do still say that I believe, for instance, education in 2019 is not relevant. It's not relevant with what's going on right now.
No, the way we're educating.
I don't think it's
education will always be relevant. I think the way we are educating isn't relevant.
Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
Yeah. I mean, when you look, Joe, in 1995, where you had like a huge big cell phones. So actually they were called cellular phones by
when they were still new,
like big, like Motorola, like a big cellular phone to Nokia. Right now we're on touch screens.
Yeah.
Right,
And smartphones.
Smartphones. When you go back to 1995, also I'm still in 1995. You look at the cars that we used to drive there, all those German cars, the BMWs, and right now they have touch screens.
Yeah.
You go in any business. But then you ask yourself, why is school still the same? In 1995, when you go to school, you'll be there at 8 o'clock, and then you'll be there for 2.5 hours or whatever. It's still the same now.
They're still being taught
things,
the same
but
things,
but things are changing. But school still remains the same, like same. Nothing, same time, same teachers, same periods. Same
curriculum.
Same, So I think that's where we have an issue.
Yeah, I guess that's another topic for another day. But I guess there's so much things that you and I can talk about,
Yeah, bro.
God bless you and your wonderful wife. And your kids, man. Congrats with the kids, yeah? Oh, how are the kids?
You're good, man. They're many now. They're 5.
So you got 5 now,
in total,
right?
Yeah.
Me, I also want 5. So when are you done, man? Me now want 5. I still don't have a candidate yet, so for a candidate for a mother yet. But I'm working on something, and it looks promising. Doesn't mean that because I'm pro-African, it means I'm anti-other races. No. I love everyone, but I love my people more. So I want a black woman for a wife. So I'm working on it,
Nah, no, I have a wife. I have a wife, man. I'm happy.
How's marriage life treating you though?
I can't complain, Sbu. I really can't complain. Because marriage is what you guys make out to be.
Yeah.
Both of you, yeah. It's an institution that you guys, and the culture that you teach your kids in the family culture.
Yeah.
It's about that. So myself and my wife, I think we are different people in terms of like where she was born and how I was born. I was struggling. She was born in a very comfortable home. Dad is a doctor, mom a lawyer, her sister is a doctor, brother teacher.
Not even one person has got a degree where I grew up.
Born in the suburbs. But I think my mom did well. My mom, she was the only one. There were 13 at home, but she's the only one who was a teacher. Then gave birth to 4 kids, which is all my siblings. So my elder brother is a chemical engineer. I'm a musician. My younger brother is on Kakasi FM, is on radio. He has a journalism diploma.
Okay.
And then my sister has also a retail management diploma.
Okay.
So at least we want to make sure that at least all our kids now are the same. But I think we have to just, break that generational curse and also, you know, trapping ourselves in poverty. Because I think the system, for us to be able to move from poverty, we have to create a system, because it's a system which made us to live in poverty. So you have to be systematic of how do you move your family out of.
Zakes Bantwini,
Part of my business, the finance was inspired by a Soho story. I'll tell you of Kenya.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Soho story.
Yeah.
Tell us, it's fine.
No.
Oh, okay. a quick one. You've got a famous wife. You're famous. How does that affect your marriage, negatively or positively? I mean, how does having a famous wife? I mean, how do you deal with it? I've been in a relationship where I'm with a famous person.
Yeah.
But then I vowed and I was like, I'll never be with a famous person ever again.
Sure. But I think you're lying.
And when your wife is more famous than you.
I know, yeah, people love my wife. People love my wife. Yo, man, I think the issue is when we travel, man. Like when we go, especially in South Africa. I know when we're outside of South Africa, you know, it's like, but we think we love it, you know. Yeah. We love, because we know there's a way out.
Yeah.
The way out is that we stop being media personalities if you don't want this life anymore.
You don't want this life anymore.
You know, at least there's a way out. So you know, you can just.
But we appreciate the love from the people.
Yes, definitely. You know, it gets sometimes. You know, like for instance, my wife. So travel with my wife. So and myself. And now my son also is someone who's just becoming popular now.
Is it?
Yeah, Shaka.
His social media is going crazy.
Yeah, you know, so.
And his name is Shaka. He actually, you guys gave him a name of a hero, like of an icon, as Zulu King.
Yeah, he's Zulu King. So yeah, but I think so far so good, because we've managed to keep our relationship issues, stories, highs, lows, middle, outside of public.
By the way, guys, for those who don't know, if you go to the Zulu history or the South African history, Shaga's real mother's name was Nandi, and his son's name is Shaga, and his wife's name is
Nandi.
Zakes Bantwini.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, bro.